Before you start any relationship, I think it's important to know a little bit about the person that you're getting to know. That goes within personal relationships or business relationships. And having a financial advisor that's going to work side by side with you and learn about your most detailed, important goals, it's important to know a little bit about the person you're dealing with. That's why I like to start out every appointment with telling a little bit about myself, how I got into this business, why it's important to me to help you reach your goals. You know, for me, it all started out very, very young. And I was maybe 5, 6 years old when I remember listening to investment discussions going on around the house. And I remember thinking, I'm hearing about money, I'm hearing how it works, hearing how we can make profits and have investments come together. And I always remember thinking, boy, a lot of this is being done without ever working. It's just money that's sitting and working and building and growing. And that piqued my interest. So I started to listen a little closer. As I got older, I had to start doing chores and work around my father's business. And I always like to think that I got the first 401k plan. My father set me aside and said, Ben, when you're ready to save your money and decide what you're going to do with it, you could spend it if you want. But if you want, you could start an investment program. You hear us talking about it all the time. And if you want to put some money away for your future, I'm going to be happy to match it. Well, that sounded like a pretty good deal to me. And I remember thinking that, hey, if I put away $1, I'm going to end up with $2. If I spend it, it really cost me $2 because I could have had the extra money. And at a very young age, it taught me to set myself a goal to put money away. Well, the years went on and I started to do this more and more often. And at one point, I remember thinking, there's got to be a better way than working for hour to make this money. As I got older, I realized investments is really the way to go. And it really caught my attention. I was probably around 12 or 13 years old, and I can remember working in my father's shop, and I was making my hourly wage, less than minimum wage, but more if I saved it. And it was at a time when the movie Star Wars came out. And I could remember working, and during the time in the day, the radio would be on, and all they would talk about during the business hour was how much money this movie was making and how the price of 20th Century Fox stock had jumped up, skyrocketed. If I remember correctly, I believe it went from $18 to $48 a share within a matter of a month or so. Anyway, it made me ask the question, what exactly does that mean? I didn't understand it. I knew we were always talking about investments. So, hey, you buy 100 shares at 18, it grows to 48, you made $3,000. And I remember at that point thinking, I got to do something different for a living. I can't be making $2 an hour. This is crazy. So I could remember thinking at that point, I need to start investing my money on my own. Now, I had been putting money aside, and my father was putting it wherever he felt was the best place when he matched it. And I decided I wanted to look into some things that could make money and I could do. Well, it wasn't too long after that the original Superman movie came out. Maybe it sounds crazy, but this is such an important thing for people to understand. I remember buying this stock, and it was in 1978, and it was right before the movie came out. And I remember thinking to myself, Star Wars came out, no one knew any of those characters, and it made a ton of money. If every kid who ever picked up a comic book, and Superman had been around since 1925, this thing has to make money. Well, little did I know at the time, I was able to convince my father to back me up on this investment because we had to make a little deal because, of course, being underage, I was not allowed to buy anything. So we decided the stock made money, we would split the profits. If it went down, I would give him whatever the losses were that we had saved aside. It was a long process, and believe me, the story is much more interesting in person. But the bottom line is, this stock and this company did so well during that period of time that the $5,000 investment that was made at that point in time had grown to over $50,000 in a matter of a year or two. I remember thinking, boy, this is the greatest thing. I can't believe I did this. And I looked into it, and the thing that I found so exciting, and this is what plays into almost all the investment strategies that I do. When I was looking at it through the eyes of a child, I could remember being online in the movie theater lines thinking, wow, all these people all over the country are standing online to watch a movie for a company that I own. And if you think about life that way, everything that we do in this world and we spend our money on, someone is making a profit. And so while I sat in that theater and the big emblem came up for the movie company, I remember thinking, looking at everyone and watching the news the next weekend, how much money this movie had made, I remember thinking, wow, what a way to make a living. And watching my investment grow really turned me on to the idea of doing investments. And that's how I began investing my money on a regular basis. Now, I also learned another very important lesson during this time. You know, there's fast and furious and there's slow and steady. And while this stock did so well for me, I decided to do a mutual fund as well, which was a smaller plan, $50 a month, and I put this money away. Well, that total investment, I put away a $6,000 investment from 1981 to 1985. Why is that important? Well, there was a point in time when the stock that I had, which to me could do no wrong, it turned out that there were so many other things that this company owned that I wasn't aware of at the time that I bought it, and it just kept making one profit after another. Whereas my mutual fund, it was growing slow and steady. Well, at that point in time, that $6,000 investment that I made ultimately had grown to over $100,000, whereas my individual stock, as well as it was doing, had a period of time where it took a significant drop. The lesson that was learned is that when you fall in love with one company, yeah, it could do very well for you, but it's always important to stay focused on your long-term goal, which is to make sure that you are diversified and that you don't have all your eggs in one basket. So once I knew I wanted to help people with their investments so that they could achieve the same financial independence that I felt that I had attained, I decided to set that course. So I went to college, got my degree in marketing and finance, and then I got my securities license. You know, it's important to know, I remember thinking at the time, at 18, I could have gotten my securities license, but it was so important and I had made a commitment to get the education necessary to really not just be a salesperson, because that was something I never really wanted to do. I wanted people to know that I took the time to really learn what makes their investments tick, what makes the investments work for them, so that we can really achieve a goal. Because to just go out and sell without really understanding the product is just another salesman. And that's why I wanted to become a certified financial planner, which was the next step after my college education. So after graduating college with my marketing and finance degree, I decided to pursue even further refining my ability to do financial planning for people. I didn't want to just be a salesman that sold securities or sold investment products. I wanted to really know what investment opportunities were available and what strategies would work. So I became a certified financial planner. This is a process that involves mastering 6 distinct areas of financial planning, all of which is used to make your plan the best that it can be. Another thing that's important for people to know, they don't want to just go to any financial planner. It is important to know that your financial planner is a certified financial planner. It not only requires those 6 areas, but it requires constant continuing education so that you can maintain your designation and make sure that you stay proficient in the areas that you're certified in. I can't stress the importance of this enough. Don't be the victim of someone who's just a salesperson. You really want to know that this person is on your side, and I would like to be that person. We at The Winning Edge believe that this process, together with your information, can be put in a way that will help you to reach your goals and attain your financial dreams and make them a reality. Please let us be your partner on this journey towards financial independence so that together we can work towards a bright financial future.